Imminent Peril is a creatively chaotic role-playing party game. Long story short, you and your friends are trapped together in a deadly scenario, running from one life-threatening situation to another, using special abilities and your imagination to survive. So how do you play? It's easy. Your story begins in a random hazardous location, populated by a random quirky menace. You fill in more details to create a unique scenario brimming with danger, then insert yourselves as characters that have been part of the story all along. Once you've established your world, you start putting each other into imminent peril. You describe how one player's choices are leading them into a new, immediately life-threatening situation, while a different player does the same for you. Once everyone is in peril, you take turns using one of your abilities to explain how you're trying to survive. Everyone then votes for who they think is least likely to make it. For friendly games, which is what we're playing today, the players who are voted least likely to survive describe how they're wounded or hobbled going into the next round, disadvantaged in some way. And then at the end of the game, the player who collected the least amount of votes is crowned the winner, and they get to describe how the overall story ends.
For the non-friendly version, we still don't attack each other. We just vote and you die
Yeah.
instead of
Yeah,
get
so
wounded.
We'll spare that one tonight. Yeah.
so
So
yeah, that one's
it's elimination. Is it
Yeah.
elimination? Like when you die, you're gone?
Kind of.
Well,
One
you
of the
still
things
get
I
to
love
vote.
about it. Yeah, it's still very
okay.
participative. So, like, you get to vote in subsequent rounds. You also get to add an escalation. So, you get to make the situation worse and more threatening for all the remaining surviving players. So,
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
I like that because it's tough when you get eliminated early and then you're just kind of sitting there.
man,
Just there.
every game night growing up, my friends would always target me. I was always the first one out or the guy that got dogpiled. So, I know all about that.
Yeah, no, there was so much workshopping that went into this to try to make sure that everybody stayed in the game to the end. Like, I hated looking around the table and seeing like people just zoning out, or like as soon as they're out of the game, they're on their phone, and it's just like they're not even here
Oh, yeah,
anymore.
that's a huge thing. Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So both versions of the game are highly. You'll see a lot of mechanics in play that on your turn, off your turn, you're constantly engaged. There's always something interesting to do or listen to. I'll set up our scenario. So in this game, basically we're drawing a random scenario card for each of these things, and on that card are 10 things. We roll a d10 for each. So our scenario in tonight's game is we are at a futuristic Easter Island inhabited by combustible vehicles. So now our job is to kind of pull these elements together narratively. Like, how do we make these four elements come together to make sense in a story? So, any ideas that you just have off the cuff, feel free to go ahead and draw.
So the reason that Easter Island's futuristic now is that by the time that they excavated all of the heads,
Yep.
it turns out that it was a super advanced society all along, and now everything's powering up.
I like it.
Like it.
Real quick, with the actual Easter Island, wasn't there like when they it's the one with the heads, right?
Yeah, yeah.
The stone heads. Weren't there like bodies under the
Yeah.
actual stone bodies under it as well? Yeah.
They were like
that's
weirdly skinny, tall.
cool. Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, so we're gonna go with the idea that they weren't originally buried, that over time, as a society
Mhm.
like kind of migrated or something, we'll go with that as the polite term. Forcefully
Yep.
migrated. The Earth coming up around it started burying it, and then therefore it interfered with all of the futuristic stuff.
So we're
Yeah.
discovering an ancient technology more sophisticated than our own in Easter Island, but I guess because we don't have the user manual, we keep blowing it up by accident since it's combustible.
Combustible
this
cars.
is pretty dangerous. Yeah.
So are
Yeah.
these statues actually then vehicles? Like, this is how they would get around, is like kind of like mech suits. These are futuristic.
And then the
That's-
combustion was just like a failsafe. Like if they were going to get captured or like
It's
killed in
tamper.
battle, they had a self-destruct option, and we just keep trying to turn it on by pressing that one, and it's not going well.
Okay, that sounds good.
Nice.
So DG and J, is there anything you guys want to add to kind of that?
No, it's fine.
Sounds good right now.
Yeah, no, that's good. For some reason, I just imagine that the Easter Island, like the bodies and the big heads, like the heads are the things. They're like garages for the cars. Like they would drive the cars into the heads, and that's how they would get it. Like, it's kind of like semi trucks now that carry all the cars, except they were just like the mechs, and they would like stomp around, bring them to one side of the island to the other, and so you'd open it up and there's all the cars.
So it's like one of those transporter like bay things where it's one big thing full of like lots of little things.
Yep, that's where it's at.
I like it.
That's what the mystery is all about. Nope.
All right. So 2 rules that are kind of general universal rules in this game. Fun first. So if everyone is okay with something, it can happen. And yes, and. So this is an improv game at heart. You can add new details at any time, though they should make sense in the story so far, and they can't contradict existing details. So whenever you have a new idea, or if you're trying to, like, say it's your turn, and if you're in a hardware store and it's like, there's a zombie coming at my face, well, I pull an axe off the shelf here and I chop it in the face. Did anybody say there was an axe? No, but of course there is, because you're in a hardware store. So you just, at any time, you can just fill in the world around you, because this is an improv game, free-form improv.
Makes sense. Yeah, makes sense.
All right, so we have an idea of like where we are, what the world's like, but now we want to add ourselves as characters into the story. So, for example, I'm going to be one of the engineer test pilots trying to fix this exploding problem. Like I've been trying to work out this issue, like why they just keep destructing every time we try to take one of these out for a test spin, and I'm struggling to debug it.
I want to be the test dummy, so anytime Aaron, works out a bug, I want to be the guy that goes and tries to see if it's working out.
Nice.
I love that.
That's
all right.
Do you have like a protective suit or anything, or are you just
I'm just going up there. I'm just hoping for the best. I believe in Aaron.
Yeah,
nice.
I love it, man.
This deep-rooted trust in Aaron.
That fits
and I'm sweating bullets.
Your personality very well. Like, we could, yeah, he's down for anything. Honestly, makes total sense.
I'm looking at Jay like I'm sweating bullets. Like, I don't want to kill this guy.
So can I put myself into this?
Absolutely.
This point? All right, so I am a grizzled car thief for hire, who basically is just trying to people want these cars, but they don't feel safe enough to do it. But I've been around the block a lot of times. I know how the cars work, so if anybody wants a car, they hire me, and then I go in and I'm a daredevil, so I got this. Getting these combustible cars out at Easter Island and transporting them all over the world where people need them.
You get it done.
I get it done. I'm the one they call if they need it.
All right. I think Ben and Andrell, right?
And what you got?
Yeah, I normally don't struggle this much. I want to be part of the team that's responsible for the archaeological dig site, right? So my main job is swinging a pickaxe and unearthing these mechs. Not because it's something I'm passionate about, but I like to imagine I have some past trauma that now I've just debased myself to having one sole purpose, and that is to move dirt. And so I just get lost in the heavy pickaxe blows, the sun beating down on me. That's where I find my true peace. I could care less about the, alien society, mechs, explosive cars. I just love to dig. That's what I'm here for.
A man with a passion. I like it.
Yep.
That's good.
I decided I like to find these unique spaces, and that's where I vacation. And I'm it's half vacation, half study, it's half nerd out. So I've come to Easter Island to vacation and also just to study the architectural history of the island. But today is my relaxing day, so I'm going to be on a dock, kind of waiting for the boat that's supposed to take me, the little catamaran taking me around the island, and I'm just gonna be on the dock, kind of just chilling. I'm getting some sun. I know it doesn't look like it, but that's where I'm happy.
Easter Island is great for tanning. It's gotta be great for tanning, right? It's an island.
Wait, the turtles look great, so it's gotta work.
Yep, perfect.
To tuck us up a little bit closer to each other, we'll say that like all of us are kind of in the same area. You know, the digging is happening at the same place where like I'm trying to debug a particular mech, and you're trying to, steal one of the cars out of the one of the particular mechs in the same area. Andrell's, vacationing near. So we're all in the same vicinity, and that'll
I just want
be
to point out that
helpful.
Easter
Like,
Island's only like 7 by 14 miles.
I was like, it's only the heads, right? Like that's literally it. So we have to be in the same
perfect.
area because it's like these and the fact that they're cars driving all over the place that are
Right.
blowing up. Like,
They're
it's
aero
wild.
cars. We just haven't figured out the aero part. So it keeps combusting.
Right.
It's at too
I'm
low an
overthinking
altitude.
it. Got it. How much of the
It's
island
not
is
even
even left
roads
after all these
there.
explosions? All right.
Right.
So we're gonna get 4 cards because we're playing the friendly version. So we play for a set number of rounds, and then whoever has the least number of votes at the end of it is the winner. So if we're playing for 3 rounds, we get 4 cards, and every time we use a card, it's gone. So your number of ability cards is decreasing as the game goes on. Before we get to abilities and the wild card rules and whatnot, let's start with peril.
Okay.
So the game is made up of 4 phases. The first phase is peril. We are going to put each other into peril. So if you look at your target card in front of you, that points to another player.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
for your target, you're going to take whatever they said they were doing last and you're going to continue their story. You're going to say how whatever they were doing last is leading them in some way into a new, imminently life-threatening situation. Now, you have complete creative freedom to say what's about to happen to them, and you kind of have a gist of the world and the different kind of threats that are around, but you can make up anything if it makes sense in the given situation.
Just because you have creative freedom over someone's story doesn't mean you get to tell them how they think or what they're doing. You control the environment around them.
The one important rule is that players have autonomy over their own characters, so you can't dictate what they say, think, feel, or how they respond to events. When creating peril around them, you can say what's happening to their character, you can guide them into events, but you can't dictate what they're doing about those events. It's kind of a fine line, but in the end, basically, they have the right to say what happens. They have like the creative rights on their character, so
Makes sense. But you can use like because I'm just thinking about who I'm targeting. But you can use kind of like the mindset that they said they were in, like when they describe their character to like, you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah, I think it's helpful to like, so what they said they were doing, what they said their goals were, like, I think there's an amount of like taking what they said they were doing already and walking them forwards a certain amount into a situation that's fitting.
yep,
But then like once shit hits the fan, you can't dictate like how they're reacting from that point forward, and you can't like maim them as part of describing how they're in peril. Like
got it. Okay,
it's like
like
you,
you're setting up you basically bring them to the brink of imminent peril.
right, exactly.
So you bring him to the imminent peril, but the peril hasn't like fully realized yet.
Exactly.
Okay, it makes sense. Yeah, I got it. All right, makes sense.
So usually what happens, we all have a moment to think about it and then we'd flip our cards over when we know what the peril is going to be. But Aaron wants to give you an example by putting me immediately into peril and then everyone else can think.
Yeah. So just to give you an example, Andrell, you said you were vacationing, catching some sun, getting a tan. We'll go relatively easy for the first one. So you're laying on the beach, getting some sun, and around you hear a and you see turtles just kind of disappearing into the sand in little poofs. And it looks like there's new areas opening up underneath the the island as all this digging's been happening around, and you feel yourself getting suddenly sucked into kind of like one of those like vacuumous underground chambers where like the sand is just like being pulled down and compressing, and you're about to be like just encapsulated in sand without air.
So hidden doors that got piled on finally opening, pulling me in.
Yeah, straightforward. You know.
I
And
mean,
everybody else
normal.
alien.
thinking,
What are you
The
gonna
normal
do?
stuff. The normal stuff, you know. Okay.
So, yeah, you guys kind of already started doing it, but yep, when you know who or how your target is going to be put in danger, you just flip your target card. So it looks like we're ready to kick it off. Aaron, should I go? Should I go next?
Yeah, Ben, go ahead.
All right, perfect. Well, I have you, Aaron. So Aaron, you're up here. You've got your lab coat. You're doing your testing, and you're under a lot of pressure to get results and to understand these mechs and why they keep exploding. Because every time one explodes, we lose a valuable piece of information back into the hidden past that we're trying to uncover.
And Jay.
You're working. And Jay is also at risk. Yeah.
Your fates are pretty tied.
You have the one that you're currently looking at, and you're in this tent that has pieces of former blown up mechs all strewn about. And wouldn't you know it, you hit the button for the 17th time, and similarly, an explosion in the distance goes off, and the ground begins to rattle. And just then, you realize that the big, heavy nose of one of the previous Easter Island heads that was suspended in the air for observation comes loose and is now going to fall on top of you and crush you. And that's your danger.
all right,
Right,
DG.
DG.
Okay. And what, do I flip my card over?
Sure,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. All right. So I've Ben. Right. Yeah. So I've Ben. Ben's just a man of the earth, really swinging that pickaxe and just vibing with the island itself, just for the love of it, really. Just like just loves it too much and just kind of gets into the zone, just way too much, and doesn't realize, like hitting those strokes, it just keeps digging like further and further down, because he's just in it, right? Ben's just in feeling it. So eventually he keeps digging to the point where he finds himself under one of the giant heads, which actually have bodies, and in one of the strokes from the pickaxe, actually like hits the wiring for the anti-gravity that's like making sure that these things don't topple over, and so now the giant head with the body that we discovered a few years back is just falling straight onto you because you were just loving the pickaxe a little too much, and so that's where you are.
Carried away. Love
Got
it.
carried away. Yep, that's where it's at.
Jay.
Good, me now.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
So DG's here to steal some vehicles from the heads. Little does he know that Aaron sent me into the heads to check out the vehicles, and I went in. I didn't know what I was doing. I just started taking things apart with these vehicles, and they are not in. They are not functional, and DG's gonna have a issue starting them up, trying to get them around. I don't know. We'll go with that.
All right.
Well,
They're very combustible. They're more combustible than usual, I guess.
They are combustible. Yeah, I guess
Okay.
they're already. Yeah.
Ah, dang. Fine.
that works. Yeah, so like to make it like a little bit more imminently dangerous, like it's about to combust, like as he's messing with it.
Okay. Yeah. It's gonna combust as soon as he tries to open a door. I don't know.
Not even getting into the actual work of
You know?
getting the car. I just opened the door.
You seasoned car thief like yourself, you were delighted to see it was unlocked, but then there's just like this inferno of,
That's a problem.
Hey,
Okay.
Big Bad Mad Jay. So now that Aaron has been testing stuff and he's set off yet another explosion, this technology is finally, finished booting up, and it realizes, hey, something's going on. People don't know how to use it. are here? What's, it's kind of like what's happening. It's waking up. And since you're like inside testing it, it starts to beep at you and flashing in front of the screen. And somehow in the language you understand is asking for verification status with a countdown timer to when it's going to self-destruct. So if you can't verify, and it's on 3, 2, 1, and then it's getting ready to explode right now.
Well,
Like that.
I like it.
So does everybody feel adequately endangered?
Yeah, I'm not a fan. That's where I am.
Absolutely.
All right. So the next phase will be survival. You're going to pick one of your abilities to help explain how you're going to survive. There's a couple new rules here. First one is the elephant rule. So when actively used, an ability can only create or affect up to an elephant's amount of stuff at once. So the goal here is to try to keep all the power levels at roughly the same. So whenever you're trying to do something with a power, think about it, if applicable, think about it only being able to affect like an elephant's amount of the stuff. Certain abilities that's not applicable, but other ones, like if it doesn't define a certain amount, like you can't summon the ocean, you won't be able to turn yourself into a dragon unless it's like an elephant-sized dragon. So
This has come from many hours of playtesting where I may or may not have turned myself into Poseidon and won a game once.
yes, we
Nice.
could have called this the Poseidon rule, but next rule, you done messed up. Any changes that an ability makes to you or reveals about you are permanent. So if you use an ability that says you're a vampire, that means for the rest of the game you are a vampire. That means you might be susceptible to dying by sunlight. If you change
Mm.
yourself into a mop to escape one peril until you use a different ability to do something about that, you're a mop. And then the wild card rule, so if you're not happy with any of your options, you can pick one of your powers to discard and draw a new one off the top of the ability card deck, but you must use whatever you drew immediately.
In challenge mode, I
This is
didn't look at
cool.
my card, so as soon as it flips, I have to think of it on the fly. But for new
You could
players,
do
we let them
that,
look
but
at it and think about it.
Got
yeah,
it. Got it. Got it.
And then once you know what you're going to play, just drag your card up and put it on top of where your target card is, and it should automatically flip itself over for you.
Okay, so you won't be able to see if I just drag it over.
right.
Yeah, and then on your turn you can reveal it.
Just real quick, as we're thinking about this, Aaron, did you design all the cards as well,
I
or
wrote
was it a?
the text of most of them, but I'm not the
Yep.
artist.
Oh no, yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, we
That's what.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's mainly what I meant was in terms of the
Yeah,
text itself, yeah.
it's developed over time. He'll sit there like he went through like a whole like anime thing, like a bunch of books about like people who have
Mm-hmm.
superpowers and just, pulling and genericizing it as much as possible.
Love
I
it.
go through waves where I'll go through the whole deck. I'll add a bunch more. I'll go through, yeah.
For me, the fact like we're put into these scenarios and then just like having to use one of these cards, which kind of it really helps to create the narrative a lot. Yeah, having a good like diversity of those, I could see. Yeah, this is good. It's so far I'm really enjoying this.
Good. I'm glad. All right. There is a big old nose falling off of one of the statues, and it's about to crush me. Well, luckily, I am surrounded by bits and pieces of mech parts that I was disassembling and trying to figure out, what's the key to unlocking the mystery of the exploding mechs. So using my ability Frankenstein, I can cobble together a monstrous living creature from the raw components at hand. I see that I'm about to be crushed by the nose of one of the things I've been studying, and I grab components and I quickly just wire them all together, and I'm like, no, 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 monster, save me! And from all these parts, an arm made of wires and probably like turtle bits that I grabbed off the sand because it was
Jeez,
just
with the
whatever I could
turtles.
reach. Reaches up and single-handedly halts the nose before I get crushed to death.
All right.
Probably the shells of the turtles, right? The shells.
I hope. Yeah, that sounds sturdier. I'll go with shells. Yeah.
not like the legs or something.
The one thing you managed to get right was the Frankenstein robot you'd been secretly working on. That's interesting.
That works. But
I'm
other
still
things are
made
still
from the-
constantly exploding.
It's still made from the combustible parts, so I don't know, man.
That's a problem for next round.
Yeah. I'm about to shift some narrative here. I'm about to drop a truth bomb on you guys, all right? So I'm digging away, right? And it turns out what's really happening here on Easter Island is these explosions are not random failsafes of these mechs at all. But I am on a secret mission to destroy these mechs so that the technology does not get into the wrong hands. And so while I'm playing the part of just a man who just loves to dig, I'm bringing with me way too much explosives. You're carrying a truly irresponsible amount of explosives. And me digging underneath the giant statue was all by design. I got to get under them, and I got to plant down the explosives in order to effectively destroy them before they can be studied. So you guys think it's, oh man, these things just self-destruct all the time, but it's me working away down there in the mines. And so I'm going to use my explosives, as I've done so many times before, to, you know, this one that's collapsing onto me now. It's going to break it up and blow up the rubble. And I'm going to be in a safe little hole off to the side, I guess, or something. But
That you
I
dug
saw
while
this
digging.
card.
Right.
Yeah, it's like dig dug. You know, I dug off to the side, and now it's gonna be fine. But I saw this card. I was like, this is too good to be true. I have to go this route.
So it's just a ruse in terms of people like you did the long con where you just made it. Everybody thinks that you're just in it for the love of the pickaxe. And it's really your secret agent. Okay, all right, I like it.
Absolutely.
So this is why I purposefully deal ability cards after people have set the scenario and put themselves into it, because like instead of like distracting themselves with abilities, this kind of stuff happening afterwards is hilarious.
I love it. All right, so is it my turn?
Yep.
We just go in order. Okay. All right, so I'm trying to rig these cars, right? Like I am the super, veteran, really cool guy who knows all about how to get these combustible cars. But man, Jay just screwed up my car, and it's gonna, right when I open the door, it's gonna blow up. Okay, but like I've done this a million times, right? So like I know the sound that the door is supposed to make when I open these cars, and it just doesn't sound right? So like the minute I open it up, it's like, okay, something's gonna happen here. There's a problem, because I'm a veteran here. So I'm gonna use my ability as a tattoo summoner, where I can bring my tattoos to life, and like every decent car thief in a combustible Easter Island futuristic place worth their salt is going to have a tattoo of a fire blanket on their arm. And so I bring my fire blanket to life, and I cover my body completely, right? It's a big one. Like I just am able to take this fire blanket tattoo that I have on my wrists, because of course I do, and I just throw it on top of me, and I huddle like just before the car explodes. And there's fire everywhere, but I'm safe in my little like toaster fire blanket thing that saves lives. This is not an ad, so, but there we go.
Thank goodness it wasn't the heart tattoo that said "mom."
Yeah, right. No, that's for rookies. That's for rookies. I'm a vet over here. I know what's up.
All right, Jay.
All right. Well, yeah, these I'm standing at one of the cars, and it's I'm having the countdown, I believe Andrell gave me. It says 3, 2, 1, but there's a reason Aaron picked me to go in here. I'm a thermomancer. I can instantly change something's temperature. So anytime they're about to combust, I can just remove the heat, and I'm in good hands. I'm perfectly fine in there. So
Awesome. Makes a lot more sense now.
That does. I
Well
get
played.
it. Yeah.
All
Can't argue
right.
with that.
I love it.
I just want to say, like, I like how clean cut that was. Like, it was just like.
That was
So,
like, there's
so there
no
you go.
date. It goes into the backstory and everything. Like, Jay is never in actual danger with these combustible
Yeah.
cars or anything because he's got it. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, it's fine. I have no idea what this is. So
Hmm.
how am I getting out of this danger, which is the doors opening up and everything being sucked inside? So I'm about to be sucked down, either dropped or smothered or whatever, I guess. We'll see. So I've got age manipulation. I can manipulate the physical age of something, adding or reversing the effects of time.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So all the sand is falling around me. But this sand on Easter Island, for those of you who don't know, the Easter Island is very, very old. It's very, very green. It's part of why the heads are so buried. So it is already like really, really finely ground bodies of organisms to the point to where it can actually give nutrients back to let things grow on this island. So what I do is I go ahead and I age it forward. And so instead of it being sand that's like rubbing and gritting and suffocating me, and I burst it into the nutrients and let the life grow, and it's going to become plants. And so all this grass is now grass. And so now I'm just sliding down some grass. It's fine. Can't bury me anymore. I mean, have you ever been buried by
Yeah.
grass? It's just, what's it gonna
It
do?
just tickles.
Actually,
I think.
I actually have a grass allergy, so I'd probably still be in a pretty bad situation. But maybe that's just me.
I find that to be a nightmare because it would tickle way too much. So I'm not a fan.
I tried to go back in time and I was like, would that be glass? Like, would I be like,
I think it'd just be bigger rocks, right? Isn't
yeah,
sand
bigger
just
rocks,
like
yeah.
rocks that are broken down?
Well,
So,
dead sea creatures, or volcanic rock, depending upon how it was
Sure.
Yeah,
myself out.
I think that was a rough draw. All right, so a
yeah, you
lot's
chose the best you could.
Yeah, that's true.
so a lot's happened. Next thing that we're gonna do is vote, but to prepare us for the vote, we're gonna go around, just do a quick recap, enough to refresh each other's minds about what we were doing to survive. So I Frankensteined a monster out of spare mech parts and turtle bits to catch the nose that was about to crush me to death.
And I used my explosives I had on hand to blow away the falling statue into pieces of rubble and sit in a hole safely.
Yep, I brought my fire blanket tattoo to life, and I covered myself with it like a little toaster oven.
I used my thermomancer abilities to take away the heat from the exploding vehicle, the combustible car.
I used my newfound age manipulation to progress the sand to a point to where life would grow and cushion my fall with grass.
All right. So
All right.
we're all gonna vote at the same time. Grab a token when you know who you'd vote for. I'll do a countdown, and we're gonna place it all at the
And pull
same
it to the
time
side.
on the
So
card.
grab and hold, press and hold, pull it
Yeah.
to the side.
Yep. Wait, the person we think is gonna die, or like, or
Yes.
is in
Least
the-
likely to survive.
least
yeah.
likely
So-
to survive. Got it.
So who you personally think is
And you
least likely
can't
to
vote
survive.
for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't vote for yourself. You won't have to justify it or explain it. We drop it. Whoever has the most votes has to describe how in some way they were hobbled or wounded, and then we just move forward and do it. Continue the story with different targets. So 3, 2, 1, drop them.
Oh, thank goodness! I
Alright.
thought it was going to be me. Haha.
In the event of a tie in imminent peril, everybody loses. So both Ben and I have to describe how we are hobbled or wounded in some way. So for me, I accidentally wired part of myself into my monster. Like I knew I wasn't going to be able to. There was a core component that it needed, and the only way that I could make it work was to wire part of my arm and my circulatory system into it so that it had whatever it needed to operate and successfully catch the nose. So now I'm kind of like I'm tethered to my monster.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
And for me, you can only play a character for so long before you start to like buy into the lie you've told yourself. So in this explosion, which happened a little bit closer than normal because I got too carried away, one of the pieces of rubble flew off and it broke my pickaxe. And part of me really does just love digging now. And so I'm heartbroken without my trusty axe. I'm seriously contemplating just staying down here in this hole and not resurfacing. But also, more than just that, the end of the handle that broke off stabbed my leg, and so now I'm also limping around too.
It's tough.
But
Importantly,
it's
it's the emotional damage.
It's really the heartbreak.
Yeah, it's really the emotional. Like I've been through so much with this pickaxe for so long, and now I'm heartbroken.
I could see it. That's a tough one.
So, targets shift.
Jeez, it just puts it away.
We keep the votes as negative points. And now you have a new target to continue their story. So we're constantly basically like writing the narrative for somebody new. Like we're not putting the same person in jeopardy over and over again. We're all sharing the load. We're sharing each other's narratives. So once you know for your target how they will be in new peril, flip their card upside down.
We just keep the abilities that we still have, right? We don't draw any new ones, or no?
Right. Your hand is shrinking as the game goes on.
I like it. That's cool.
And when you play the kill mode, it's just 1 plus the number of players. Sometimes there's double elimination, so you get more choices at the end. But at the end, it can come down to just your 2 cards. And if you save a good one, you may not make it to the end. But if you don't save a good one, you lose at the end. Amazing.
Yeah, I like that. This is neat. Yeah, cool.
All right, and also me first shift, so it's a different person starting each round. So now it's Ben.
So my target is Andrell, who just fell through this hatch and is now laying in a large pile of grass. It's very dark, and you realize that this area you've fallen into is not a natural cavern like you previously thought, but that it is an actual underground structure. And that whole, secret agent government thing that we mentioned with my character a little bit, you realize that this is the agency where they are in the island local because they have to monitor to make sure that nothing gets out about these ancient secrets that we're trying to uncover. So you kind of roll off the grass pile and look up, and you see 2 angry security guards who are looking at you, and one kind of has like a club in his hand, and the other one has a pitchfork that he's plunging down at you. I think they came over to like get rid of the grass and then realized, oh, well, there's a person in here. So
First time these doors have opened accidentally.
yeah, it's just like, oh man,
They were
this thing's on the
prepared.
fritz, and then
Yet again. Yeah, you gotta take care of it. Take care of business. Love it.
All right, DJ.
Okay. All right, yeah. So I have Aaron that I'm going to put in peril. Like, you gave me a lot to work with, Aaron. You have fused with your monster, and you're like, it's the monster really, like, it's only been alive for just a few moments, but it has always dreamt of being an Olympic diver. So it has decided that it's on an island. What better way to test everything out than to just jump into the water? And it's big, bulky rocks. Who like it's really just, it went full. It didn't really have a lot of great graceful techniques or anything with the dive, but what it lacked in finesse, it made up for with weight and speed, and you are drifting further to the bottom depths of the ocean, and you are running out of oxygen. I don't know what you're gonna do, so that's what's going on with you.
There's a lot of turtle in there. That makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Ben, you just lost your pickaxe. You've been, breaking these rocks up for years now, and turns out that the rocks that you've been breaking were actually life forms, and now that you lost your pickaxe, they see it's time for revenge. You find yourself surrounded by tons of, I guess, elephant amount of of rockmen.
So when you're making peril, there's no limit to quantity. Like
Oh,
that's
okay.
just when
Yeah,
doing
thanks for
ability
that,
stuff.
Aaron.
Yeah, like
Thanks for clarifying.
like
Well, I'll keep it an elephant amount of rockmen. That seems like
Thank
enough
goodness.
rockmen.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. I attributed those voices I heard all over the years to just being like cave sickness. I didn't realize it was these rock people whispering while I'm like plowing through them.
that's
This is
that's
hilarious.
amazing writing. Now that your pickaxe is gone. I like it.
Revenge. They're like, oh, no weapon anymore. Let's
Rise
get
up.
him.
Yeah.
Let's get him. Now's our chance.
It's time.
I love that.
Yeah,
That's fantastic.
Okay, Gigi, you have hidden under fire blanket to escape the fire. So it's safe to assume once the fire is gone, you've taken the blanket off. And when you look around, you realize that while the car itself may have exploded, now that more and more of these Easter heads have been activated, so to speak, they have these little drone swarms that come out, little bits of these rocks, right, that come off. I'm going to play off of what Jay gave me here. This is amazing, and they're partially sentient. So parts of the rock come together to to oh my goodness, to become the mech body, to fill it up, to become it, transform. Listen, Power Rangers, Voltron, that kind of thing, right?
Yep.
We've got so all these little pieces, and now like parts of them are like coming off, and so they've now come up to you, and there's like this like little floating stone arm, a little floating stone leg, and it's just like surrounding you, and they shoot this little laser grid across each other, and they're going to slowly lower it over top of you. So if you think like Resident Evil, a laser slicing you,
Yeah. Okay.
but it's
Sweet.
alien laser.
I love how it
Alright,
went
then.
to like a bunch of like physically threatening like stones, like alien stones, and then boom, suddenly energy weapon. Like
Bringing back the futuristic.
yep, you did.
There we go.
Yeah.
I like it.
There you go.
All right. Jay, so you effectively neutralized the fiery explosion. So the mech, realizing that it didn't go up in flames, still detects an intruder in the center of its system. It's like so it's you're sitting there, and a new alarm starts beeping, going off, and it says initial threat countermeasures neutralized, countermeasure 2 activated, and boop boop. And you feel the walls of your little pilot enclosure start to compress inwards. So you're kind of in like your pilot area is starting to trash compact.
All right. I like it.
And remember, if you're not happy with your options, feel free to wildcard it. Man, I do not have good options, or do I?
It's like the best lineup of cards I think I've had in the 12 games or so that I've played. I'm loving it right now.
Oh, this is about to get weird. Okay.
No. All right. So I have an integrated weapon system in my body. A part of my body is actually a weapon that has been disguised as a limb or appendage. Grant me some creative liberty here. When I read integrated weapon system, my mind instantly went to the broken pickaxe lodged in my leg, because now that's technically integrated into my body. So seeing and hearing the pickaxe snap and watching me have a moment of weakness, these rock people have gathered the courage to launch an uprising around me. But I still have the pickaxe. It's now even closer to me. It's a part of my physical body, no longer just an extension of it. And I'm gonna just go to town with leg and broken pickaxe in hand, doing sweeping maneuvers to fight back the rock people. So they thought they caught me in a moment of weakness, but they were wrong. It was a
Really?
moment of rage.
It was really a trap. It was always a trap.
You've never been closer to your pickaxe than
Yeah,
now.
yep. Literally and sentimentally. It's
All right, so I got like this laser thing coming towards me by these rock people, right? Like these rock things, right? Is that what you did for me, Andrell?
Rock.
Yeah,
Yeah,
little
like-
rocky ship.
Well, little rocky ships and everything like that. Okay, so as the laser is descending towards me, I'm getting a little nervous here. But then I realize that I have a photocopy ability, so I can duplicate any object that I see, and so I decide that I'm going to photocopy myself into the rock people shaped things that are attacking me with their lasers. And they are so moved because they're like, why are we attacking one of our own? That they decide to just shut off the laser because they don't want to kill their own people, like, because I'm one of them now. So they decide to shut it off. Like one of the rock ships just like hurls itself into the laser to stop it dramatically, and then everybody cheers for that one because he was a hero. Saving a poor innocent rock ship person that they thought was a car thief, but is not. It's one of them rock peoples. So here we go. That's how I saved it. The laser's gone. All right.
Secondary defenses are up, and the room is getting smaller and smaller. One thing I can think of is to activate my multifunctional arm cannon and fire a beam below me, which is a teleporter. Opens a portal. I drop into the portal. I'm outside of that room, but I don't know where I am now. Crazy.
That's
Going
some
into the
improv
secret
production.
government, yeah.
Yeah, just are you even on Easter Island anymore?
Kind of putting my life in the hands of whoever has me for
Yeah,
peril
that
next.
is that's rough, man.
gonna be
That
fun.
is you really set it up for that.
It's a good way to
I
get
mean-
out of a crushing room, though.
It's
Yeah,
true.
I mean that
Yeah.
sounds like a solid choice for this round.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
I have a club and a rake coming at my face. But just like
Well,
I had the
pitchfork.
ability
Let's
pitch. What did I say?
Pitchfork.
Rake?
You
Rake,
said a
whatever.
rake.
You know.
That's what a rake
It's
is. It's
enough.
just a tiny pitchfork.
Same.
Yeah.
It ends in prongy shapes. We're fine.
Yeah. Same
Yeah.
thing. We're good.
So, in theme with my whole age manipulation thing, luckily I have disintegrate. I can make things fall apart into their smallest constituent components. So I'm just going to disintegrate the two objects coming at me, and so they're going to fall into their little pieces that they were before they became these things that they can attack me. Like turn back time.
I love to imagine that you had this ability last turn, but because sand is already like the smallest form, you
Yeah.
couldn't use it. I mean, I know there's like atoms, but I just love the idea that it's like, how do you disintegrate sand? So that's hilarious.
All right. And I am quickly sinking to the bottom of the ocean. Luckily, because I am a scientist on an island, I am not unprepared for this event. Using my pheromones ability, not panicking, I quickly release some targeted chemicals from some scientifically prepared pores to cause an overwhelming physical or emotional reaction in living things. These ones are specifically prepared to call aid to me from the local dolphins. And the goal isn't necessarily to rescue me, but to supply me with emergency pockets of air. So as I'm diving down, well, being dragged down by my overzealous monster, packs of dolphins swim down and they push their little head nozzles up against my mouth and they blow air into my mouth so that I can breathe.
What is the rate of velocity versus your capacity of human lungs?
They give me lots of delicious breathable air.
Just checking.
Pheromones and dolphins is a weird place for me. Those dolphins are kind of freaks. If you guys don't know the full science behind it,
No, see
I got pretty concerned there.
They were
Yeah, a
they
little
were
bit.
super into it. So like pheromones just poured out into the ocean, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's air time." They were ready.
They knew what it was. They knew what it
Yeah.
was for. Okay.
Not the first time this happened with Aaron.
Yeah, like you should have seen them training for this. I get to inflate that guy again? On it. All right. So
All
Who's
right.
your favorite dolphin? Who's your favorite?
Oh, we have to do.
Do we want to do a
right.
one-sentence
Oh.
recap?
Yeah.
Yeah.
well,
And yeah, Aaron, who's your
yeah.
favorite dolphin?
Yeah, you have to have a favorite dolphin at this point.
Chum. He really likes the fish bits.
Nice.
I thought you were calling him Chum and being like, the sharks
No.
really go for that one.
No.
He's the one I'm sacrificing
Unfortunately,
when the sharks come.
unfortunately, Chum also has the worst breath, so this is kind of like a double-edged sword.
Right.
So, Ben, quick recap.
Yeah, I, being closer to my pickaxe than ever, am cleaving through the rebellious rock people's uprising to safety.
I made myself one of them, and they decided, these rock ship sentient things, decided not to kill me with their laser, and one sacrificed themselves heroically to save me.
I made a portal beneath me, and now I'm falling randomly. But somewhere. We'll find out.
I disintegrated the club and pitchfork coming at me to attack into their components, but they are no longer
And-
assembled to attack me.
And I released my emergency dolphin summoning oxygen inflating pheromones. All right. So once everyone's ready, all right. 3, 2, 1, drop them. Oh, I think
Someone
when
dropped
Oh,
it's
sorry.
up on Aaron. No, that's okay. Man, 2 for 2. Look at us, Aaron.
dang.
We're on a roll.
All right. So how did things go slightly wrong? Dang it,
Slightly.
Chum. He was always overzealous. He took too deep a breath, and of course he overinflated me. So not only do I have a bad case of the bends, but like you also see deep underwater, like air just shoots out my rear, and there's a little blood too, because like air shouldn't just pass through me that quickly. That's not right.
Goodness.
So I'm
All
still
right.
alive, but not doing too great.
And for me, I'll say in the scuffle between me and the elephants amount of rock people that I was fighting in the caves, we'll say in a moment of passion, they were about to have the upper hand and crushed me to death, and I ripped the remaining piece of pickaxe out of my leg to like deliver the final killing blow. But now I'm bleeding pretty profusely, so lightheaded, limping around. You know, I'm the victor, but we'll see for how long, I suppose.
This is growing great. All right, so once you know
All right.
how the story will continue for your target, flip your card. All right, I think I got it. It's my own game, but I'm always the slowest at this game.
All right, so I'm first with this. All right, so I have Andrell, and so you had the pickaxe, or not the pickaxe, sorry, the pitchfork, right, and the thing, and you disintegrated them, right? And they as they were coming at you for that. I thought that was a brilliant move. It totally makes sense because that is the danger right there. But there was a hidden danger that you did not realize, that the components that those materials were made of, you are actually deathly allergic to those materials. So they dispersed in the air when you disintegrated them, and you inhaled them, and now you are having a severe allergic reaction where you cannot breathe. Your face is puffy. You're like choking on your own throat, and yeah, it's rough. Thought you escaped, but alas.
This is with you, Andrell, and allergies. You guys missed it. In the previous game, Andrell's wound was that they were allergic to nuts and got all swollen and puffy. So,
Oh no, I didn't even
I
realize
chose that
that.
on myself. This is hilarious.
yep.
All right, Aaron. You thought those dolphins were your friends, however. They're keeping you alive, but they're just bringing you deeper and deeper into the ocean. And they don't plan on letting you free anytime soon. They're going to keep you alive as long as possible, but see how far you can get before your lungs crush.
It's not the life I wanted.
These dolphins are sadistic. Jesus.
There's maybe a hint of love there. They're trying to keep him going, but they know ultimately where this is headed.
Oh my god. How long can we keep it alive to suffer? Okay.
So it's like deep sea pressures trying to crush me, and they're trying to like inflate me, and deep sea pressures trying to crush me. Ugh.
Right. Ben, so you pull this out and you're profusely bleeding profusely. Oh my goodness. And
We're not breeding.
bleeding
Profusely.
bleeding profusely from your thighs. Listen, you can procreate how you want, my dude, but the one of the technologies that's been reactivated by the futuristic island coming back to life, is the fact that one of the sentries that used to be employed here were sharks, but not just in the water. They have this gill apparatus that would activate on around sharks that would keep water circulating for them, so they could be on land on these little, their own little floaty rocks as well. And the reason for that is that they just couldn't find anything better at chomping for no reason. So it's a great deterrent. So they're like, cool. And so one of the things to reactivate was this sentry setup. So the apparatus that scoops sharks up and got the water for them, because sharks have been alive since, been around since before Easter Island was Easter Island, has reactivated, and it scoops some sharks up, and they smell blood, and they're like, must be my lucky day.
So DG, you photocopied one of these rock life forms so that they wouldn't kill you, and you successfully avoided death. You even had one of them sacrifice their lives to save you. Unfortunately, with the government agency watching what's going on with Easter Island very closely, trying to, keep things from going terribly wrong, what it looked like to them was that the aliens finally discovered a way to transform humans into rock people. And they cannot let that happen. Like that seems like a very bad first step towards the end of human civilization. So, as patient zero, you need to be put down. So they release a countermeasure that they've been holding on to, but it looks like this is the time. This is the time to release the Rock Crusher 5000. So two big steel doors go, and out of the beach this big. It looks like a mech at first, but mech is alien technology. We don't want none of that here. So it's actually like this cobbled together, like made out of wood and rubber bands, and it's actually just piloted by like a whole bunch of agents with like suits and glasses, and they're all just pulling levers, and they're all just like coordinating and like yelling orders at each other and stuff. But so the Rock Crusher 5000, piloted by like a dozen agents in suits, is coming at you, and it's going to try to crush you with its completely non-technical pulleys and rubber bands and big meaty wooden hands.
Side note, Rock Crusher 5000 is also the name of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's new workout program, so make sure you guys check that out. All right, Jay, you took a portal. It was your only option. In a moment of panic, you managed to survive your previous crushing room, but little did you know that portal sent you to the next nearest portal close by, which happened to be in the underground facility from the secret agency that is here to protect this alien technology. And so you get instantly teleported into this chamber of fluid. You're just like suspended, and all of these scientists are gathered around looking at you, and they are studying you because of your former thermomancer abilities, and they think to themselves, wow, this could be a really good, like, they're able to manipulate energy at their will. We need to study this person. And so seizing the moment, they pull a lever, they press some buttons, and in studying you, what that actually translates to is you're about to be like vaporized in this chamber, and they're going to harness your essence and study that later. So yeah.
Rough. Yeah, so yeah. So yeah, deal with that.
Yeah.
Digital save for later.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
So now we gotta get out of
Oh,
that.
someone's doing wild card.
Yeah,
Andrell.
and Aaron.
Worked
Oh,
out great the
Aaron
last
too.
time.
Oh man, good luck to you two.
All right, DG, kick us
All
off.
right, DJ.
Okay. So I have the unenviable status of trying to defeat the Rock Crusher 5000. It was really my own fault for trying to escape the laser. However, as the Rock Crusher 5000 is coming towards me, and I feel death is very close by. Out of the corner of my eye, I look towards the ocean, and I see just like an obscene amount of dolphins for some reason, just like around there. And I realize that I have the ability of possession where I can transfer my soul into a new vessel. And I think I've always wanted to go into the ocean and live my life and maybe try to crush some poor saps lungs as I drive them further deeper into the ocean. So I decide to possess one of those dolphins. And then I find Aaron down there. I decide to just like keep him alive long enough to see how long it will take to crush his entire body in the
You did
depths
not
of there.
hesitate for your chance to get in on that.
I really like it was like immediate. I was like, this is what I was meant to do. It felt right.
I'm where
and
the
so
party's
that's basically it. So that's what happened. I possessed a dolphin, and I don't even know about the Rock Crusher 5000 anymore. I don't know what happened to it. So it's gone away in the ocean.
That's now the dolphin's problem. Who's inhabiting your old
That
body?
is the dolphins. Yeah, that is.
Yeah, the dolphin is now in your old human body. Like,
Yeah.
oh.
Like the dolphin's very confused.
we have to go with the canon that was Chum that you just swallowed.
Yes,
So now he's
I
going
was-
to become Chum by getting
It's-
squished.
Absolutely, it is Chum.
That
It
seems
has to be
appropriate.
Chum. Yep,
Crushing Aaron emotionally
what-
and
yep.
physically.
exactly.
All right. I'm in this test tube, about to be vaporized by the secret association of aliens. They don't know that I am actually a small creature, a couple inches big, piloting a technologically advanced ship, looking like a human, looking like myself. I hit the eject just in time to avoid vaporization and eject out of the little test tube that I'm in, and small creature now running around, running around trying to escape these aliens. Hopefully they don't see me.
So it's just advanced alien technology is why you could thermomancer. It had nothing to do with human abilities.
No, of course not. That'll be crazy.
Well,
Fantastic.
That's a good series of escapes there.
All right, so and that explains why you had a teleporter too, like a portal gun. Like this is
Mhm.
delightful.
It's all making
Alright.
sense now. It's all coming together.
Yeah, it's a whole story.
Yeah, I feel like a solid.
The puzzles have really,
storyline.
the puzzle pieces have really fit together for Jay. Like that's why he could do this whole test dummy thing. He's he fits.
No idea what I've got. So how do I get out of this? I am having an anaphylactic reaction to the components that I disintegrated things into because it was alien tech, and clearly, just like with the World War, oh darn it, not World War, the War of the Worlds, where the aliens died by our bacteria. It's the same thing happening here. There's something there, and I'm just like not having it. So what do I do about it? I am covered in the trendiest clothes, the latest accessories. I make heads turn, jaws drop, and hearts. So, yeah. Part of this hottest fashion happens to include the latest in breathing aware with your own oxygen tank because it's in fashion to have the freshest air possible right now. Because have you seen the air outside? Ugh. So our trend today, like the cyberpunks, right? They started it. The cyberpunks had their masky stuff, but now it's actually connected to oxygen tubes. And so I just lick it and it comes in place.
That's
That's awesome.
impressive.
What a reveal.
That I did not know what you were gonna do with that. That card
Don't worry,
came up. I was like, oh, that's it.
EpiPens aren't in fashion though, so I don't know what I'm gonna do about it myself.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
I'm gonna hope the oxygen does it.
Good.
All right. I'm hoping for an equal miracle. I am being crushed by the incredible forces of deep sea pressure, while being simultaneously reinflated by my less than helpful dolphins. And to help me with that, I am a monk. I have dedicated my life to honing my prowess in unarmed combat. My body is the only weapon I need.
I can see this. I can
I
see
will.
this.
I will center my chi. I will focus. I will focus. This is my moment. Clearly, I am fighting, but my dolphin allies have turned against me. They are clearly not trying to save me. They have turned against me. They're toying with my life. I will chop through the strands tethering me to my monk, and I will just start punching the dolphins right in their stubby little noses, and I will desperately so what's the monkiest way to swim? I will karate swim to the surface. So whatever you picture in your mind when I say the words karate swim to the surface, that is what I'm doing to get to the surface as quick as possible.
All right.
How's your Frankenstein monster doing?
He continues on his journey downwards
Okay.
because I separated myself.
All right. I don't even know what to make of that. I love it.
No,
though.
he could have attacked pressure.
I liked the chi angle, right? You're harnessing yourself, focusing your energy. It's good. Good. All right, so to round us out here, have you guys ever seen Predator, the movie Predator? It's been a while for me, admittedly, but I know there is a scene in which our protagonist is covered in mud to avoid the heat vision of the predator itself.
Yes.
And so I'm down here in the caves, bleeding, probably covered in dirt and all sorts of debris. But I've also just slain a lot of rock people, and knowing that I have these shark soldiers as a security defense for the agency that works inside the island who are flooding into my cave because they smell my blood, I know I gotta think fast. And luckily, I'm a master of disguise. So just like in that scene in Predator, I'm going to take little bits and pieces of the rock people that I just broke apart, and I'm going to combine that with mud and dirt, and I'm just going to kind of layer it onto my body, one little rock at a time, and kind of just smoosh everything on top of me and lay perfectly still in the cave while the sharks come through and look for me. And I'll be hidden, and I'll look like the cave walls.
Oh,
Alright.
One sentence recap and our final vote, and then the last.
All right. So the Rock Crusher 5000 was coming towards me, so I possessed a dolphin. We swapped bodies, and then I went to go do some murder.
I ejected out of my suits. I'm a small man, inches small, and I'm I'm running away from the alien association, trying to hide under small things.
The latest hottest fashion includes fresh air for when the air outside just gets all icky. So I have this contraption on my back. If you picture those old cyberpunk masks, and I hit the button and it comes over and it pumps me full of good fresh air to stop the particles coming in that I'm allergic to. Yep.
Chop myself away from my monster and karate swim to safety.
And I disguised myself with, I guess, a bunch of rock people corpses to evade my shark. shark pursuers.
I missed that the first go around. The corpses.
So
Yeah,
good.
well, see, the thing is, right,
It's
I'd
brutal.
been digging for so long, and I didn't even know they were there. So if I just cover myself with them, that's got to be a pretty good disguise.
All
right.
Good.
All right, everyone's got
3,
a token.
2, 1, drop 'em.
Oh
right.
man.
So I'm gonna go ahead and do the final collection here. So what happens is starting from worst to wow, Jay actually got a vote. So we'll say that DG and Jay, you guys both tied. So you guys will both get to like decide together how the final story ends. But going from worst to last, the characters that didn't make it describe how we didn't make it. So it's like
So the people who got votes decide how their story ends, kind of like essentially how they die, and then the winner or winners decides how the overall story ties up for themselves.
yeah, so it's still like the elimination element still happens. So imminent peril, like there's still players that don't survive, but in friendly games it's pushed to the very end, so everybody still gets to participate equally until
Yeah.
then. So for me,
Cool.
in my mind, like I'm doing all these sweet karate moves, but in reality, I'm still actually like unconscious and tethered to my monster being pulled to the bottom of the ocean.
All right. For me, I did disguise myself, but I had used the last bit of my energy in doing so, and these sharks marched their way into the cave that I'm in. And while the disguise worked great, I was not prepared for when they stepped on top of me because they couldn't see me, and I let out a grunt under the weight of them, and like all of their heads instantly lock onto my position, and I'm devoured.
So my hottest fashion prevented further damage, but the damage was already done. And since the hottest fashion does not allow you to carry an EpiPen, I just slowly died, suffocating. Very sad, very
rough.
tragic. Don't let fashion
Yep.
stop you from carrying necessary medical life-saving
Yeah.
devices.
I thought Jay was gonna sweep it, but somebody got him.
Me too.
Somebody sniped him
I
at the
got-
end.
So you guys can kind of, if you want to start with like your character, you can go, or if you just want to combine, like wrap up the story as you see fit for
Yeah.
what's transpired today.
Yeah, like how do you want to close it out?
I'll say with my character, I did get caught. They caught me ejecting out. It was pretty obvious. I don't know why I thought I was gonna get away. Snatched me up.
You don't have
But
to
they-
kill
they
yourselves. So since
No, I'm
you
not
guys
killing
won-
myself. I'm not
Okay,
killing-
okay, just
They caught me. They caught me, but they don't care about a small man. They're like, wow, this is not very interesting. So
That's so sad.
That's
I'm just a small man.
You're not-
They let me go. I continue.
Jay, you're worthy,
investigating
man.
the,
You're worthy.
the
They caught
combustible
you and
vehicles.
determined, you're not worth our time, and released you? That's worse than death.
That's it.
That's ouch.
That is.
Wow.
I've heard of that in
Release.
fishing. Catch and release. Yeah. They're still waiting for him to grow up.
Oh, man.
All right. I mean, so in terms of me, the dolphin, like I found that like murdering people, I really had a liking to it, so I decided to just travel the oceans and just go on a rampage. And because I'm a dolphin, they just ignored me, and they thought I was cute every once in a while, and I got away with it. So it's all good.
In my head, I'm picturing like the whales that are taking out the yachts, except it's you
Yeah.
taking out the people diving off of them.
That's right. Yep.
You pay to
That's,
swim with the dolphins, you're gonna swim with the dolphins.
That's right. You
We
are.
need to add that to a list of like promo things for Imminent Peril. It's like it'll tell you who your friends really are. You know, it's like I feel like we've learned a lot about DG tonight.
Finally,
Just
my dream
character.
of wandering the ocean and murdering.
It's like DG. We said you could do anything, right? He's like, yeah, no, I'm good with this. This is
Yeah, I like murder a lot. Murder is great.
murder
actually.
dolphins. Sounds good for me.
You both get to say, all right, okay, now that the characters are all situated, how does the overall
Yep.
story end? Like, does the
Ooh,
island continue activating? Does it self-destruct? Like, how do you want to end?
If there's
Yeah, I feel like we didn't solve anything. We didn't solve anything. We didn't figure anything out. We started here, and then like we all just ended up in a whole nother world.
Jay, like from my perspective, the powers that be in the world bombed the hell out of Easter Island after all the crap that was going on there. So I think it sinks. I think the only thing floating are the giant heads. No more island, just the giant heads swimming.
Do you want to add anything to that,
So
Jay?
I'm happy with it. There you
go. That's the end.
Well, I realized I forgot to give you guys your, the time to tell us about yourselves on the recording, and we can move that to the front of the video, an introduction for yourselves, if you'd like.
Yeah, normally we go around and introduce ourselves, so we just kind of got into it. So
Yeah. So I'll start. I'm Aaron Lanowitz, creator of Imminent Peril.
I'm Ben. I play video games and make videos, and excited to play some Imminent Peril.
Hey, I play some games every now and then. Long time friend of DG here. Just invited me in.
It was great. So I'm DG. I am a board game content creator and designer. I'm really excited to. Are we pretending like this is before?
You know, I think we just leave it in as is. You know, it's fine.
I'm very excited to start this game and put people in danger.
So you need to be like, and I love dolphins. That's my fact.
I just do. I love dolphins. Dolphins are great.
And now people will watch it back and they'll be like, oh, how did he? Oh.
I think murderers are misunderstood. Listen,
I feel like we should take this approach more often. We backload the introductions and we sneak Easter eggs.
That'd be great.
DG, we'll put the link to your channel in all the text and everything, but did you want to say it at all, or?
If people just search up DG Walker, it will probably show up, but it's DG Walker is bored. Like board game, board. Yeah. I thought I was clever when I made it, so.
That works.
I like it.
And we'll make sure that the description has for any players that give us a link to either themselves or to like something specific content they want linked. We'll put it in the description.
Awesome.